Hey guys! Tonight we're going to dive into the murky waters of how humans have cleaned their clothes through the ages. Imagine yourself wrapped in a blanket, a mug of tea slowly getting cooler by your side, and a dog making soft little snoring sounds. As we journey back to explore how people tackled dirty laundry, you might just find yourself thinking, you probably won't survive this, but in a good way. Like when you realize you've got 3 episodes left of a binge-worthy series on a Sunday night. Before you get too comfy, feel free to tap like or subscribe, but only if you're genuinely enjoying the calm around here. Tell me where you're listening from and what time it is over there. I love seeing how far this sleepy little journey reaches. Now, go ahead and lower the lights. Maybe let a fan hum in the background, and let's drift gently into tonight's story together. You wake up in a world without Tide Pods, or those oddly satisfying cleaning TikToks, because we're talking way back, like tens of thousands of years back. Picture this. You're in a small community, perhaps nestled in a lush forest or perched on a rocky hill. It's dawn, and the birds are your only alarm clock. None of the buzzing, annoying phone stuff. Clothing, or let's be real, whatever scraps of animal hide you fashioned into some semblance of an outfit, is dirtier than you'd care to admit. Back then, dealing with dirty clothes wasn't about sorting whites from colors. It was about staying alive. Seriously, a little grime or hide oil was probably the least of your worries. Still, humans being humans, even then, we couldn't resist a little bit of self-care. One of the earliest methods likely involved good old water. Rivers, streams, rain, you name it. You can imagine ancient folks cautiously walking down to the nearest stream, the morning sun glistening off the water like diamonds. There they would swish, swash, and scrub their clothing by bashing it against rocks. It wasn't glamorous, but hey, it got the job done. In a way, it was kind of like subscribing to a nature channel where the #1 hit was nature's own scrubbing bubbles. As we wind through history, here's a fun nugget for you. Did you know that people used things like clay and sand as early forms of detergent? Yep. Historians are still debating whether ancient civilizations were innovative, genius-level problem solvers, or just really desperate to wear something other than stiff, sandy pants. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Cleaning wasn't just about physical cleanliness. It also took on a slightly magical or spiritual layer. Imagine considering your dirty socks as not just smelly, but also in need of a spiritual reset. There were chants, rituals, maybe a call to a deity or two to help get those persistent stains out. Honestly, that sounds like a pretty intense version of a modern-day laundry app notification, bugging you about that last load you forgot in the washer. Picture tribes gathering by water sources, sharing stories, while simultaneously wondering if the river god was having an off day when the stains didn't come out. The reasoning might seem as quirky as your dog deciding the new laundry pile is its new favorite nap spot. But back then, these cleaning rituals were woven into the fabric of their daily lives, much like our relentless obsession with keeping inbox zero. Historians are still arguing about when exactly human beings started this whole soap-making gig. Was it by accident? Was it necessity? Maybe a mix of the two? Kind of like how we all discovered that sending memes is an easier way to apologize than, actually apologizing. So, as you drift further into the chill of this late-night exploration, let that sink in. Our ancestors battled dirty laundry with rocks, chants, and some serious elbow grease. They definitely didn't have the option to Netflix and forget about it. But hey, as you're curled under your blanket, with laundry quietly spinning in the machine, perhaps there's a new appreciation for the convenience of modern detergent wafting into your cozy nook. And so it begins. Our dusty, bubbly stroll through the ages. Let's take it step by step, shall we? You open your eyes to the bustling cityscape of ancient Rome. Picture yourself wandering through the streets, your feet echoing softly against the stone pavement. The sun is climbing high, casting golden light that dances across marble statues and busy markets. You're heading towards one of those infamous Roman bathhouses, not for a soak, but to peek into a rather intriguing aspect of Roman life: laundry. In these grand communal bathhouses, the Romans, so ahead of their time, also tackled the dilemma of dirty clothes. And boy, did they have a system. Imagine stepping into a room full of people lounging around, chatting away, while in another section, your toga is getting what we'd consider a spa treatment. They had fullers, professional clothes cleaners who took your garments into their capable hands, or more accurately, their capable feet. Here's the wild part. They would tread on clothes in tubs of water mixed with urine. Yes, you heard that right. Urine was the secret Roman ingredient, providing ammonia, which helped clean and bleach fabric. So next time you think about fancy cleaning hacks, remember this little fact. It puts all those vinegar and baking soda concoctions to shame, doesn't it? But the real kicker? They did this in full view of everyone. Picture it as laundry day meets social hour, with a side of public entertainment. Listening and gossiping were the Instagram feed and stories of the time. Someone likely made offhand remarks about the gladiatorial games while engaging in small talk about whose toga needed more than a standard wash. The Romans were practical folks, always up for a bit of multitasking. Checking out how clean someone's toga was could be akin to checking their follower count. You might think your group chat antics from the night before were wild, but the Roman bathhouse mingling scene was a thing to behold. Minus the small smartphones hidden in hand, of course. Historians continue to debate over exactly how comfortable and agreeable this arrangement was for everyone. Were the patrons genuinely enjoying the buzz of communal cleaning, or were they silently cursing the odd scent wafting through the wet air? In a somewhat odd but no less interesting addition, the leftovers from these laundry sessions weren't wasted. The ammonia-rich water from the cleaning process would often get repurposed for various cleaning tasks around the city. Imagine the efficiency, moving from togas to tiles without skipping a beat. As you wander away from the bustling bathhouse, let's take a moment to appreciate not only their ingenuity, but also their community spirit. Laundry wasn't a mundane, solitary task to be avoided until absolutely necessary. Instead, it was an essential social activity, one that reinforces the idea that sometimes the mundane moments hold the most community magic. So, the next time you begrudgingly stash your dirty clothes into the machine, take a moment to appreciate how far we've come. We've traded ammonia baths and public laundry performances for fabric softener pods and the soothing hum of a washing machine. Alone in our cozy homes, perhaps even scrolling through cleaning tips we'll never use. And as dusk settles on the ancient city, and you slowly wander back to your quiet, blanket-laden existence, there's a new perspective to ponder. Next up, we'll set sail into Viking lands and discover their enchanting, mysterious cleaning rituals. But for now, let the Roman candles softly flicker in the background as you close your eyes for a while longer. You find yourself suddenly transported to the crisp, cool air of the north, where the Vikings roamed the lands and the seas. Picture a horizon that stretches endlessly, dotted with sturdy wooden ships, and homes nestled into the landscape, melding into forests and fjords. The Vikings, famous for their dragon-headed longships and epic sagas, were no strangers to the art of laundry. You walk into one of these small, homely longhouses. The glow of the hearth flickers warmly against the walls, and the scent of smoke and sea salt lingers in the air. Now, you might think these rugged seafarers were too busy raiding and sailing to care about something as mundane as dirty clothes, but even Vikings had their chore days. So here's a quirky tidbit for you. Vikings used a rather interesting concoction for cleaning their clothes: fermented human urine, affectionately nicknamed lant. See? Not so different from the Romans. It seems like everyone was in on this ammonia-powered secret, and while this might not end up on your Pinterest cleaning board, it got the dirt out of their woolen tunics and trousers. Imagine a group of Viking women chatting away in a circle outside their homes, clothes sprawled over wooden racks. Their laughter mingles with the sound of wind rustling through the trees. It's laundry day, and the process was both a communal activity and a key survival task, ensuring that fabrics remained supple and manageable for the harsh Nordic winters. Historians still argue whether Vikings used certain herbs or natural oils in combination with lant for a dash of fragrance, because honestly, even a fierce warrior wouldn't say no to smelling a little less rustic. It's a debate that leads us to lean in with a quiet curiosity, imagining the subtle scent selections aromatic enough to counter the pungent process. The vessels these Norse folks used for their laundry needed to be sturdy enough to handle all the moving and soaking. You know, kind of like that friend who just insists on hand washing everything because they don't trust machines. To this day, clues about these ancient laundry techniques are often unearthed in archaeological digs, whispering secrets from the layers of earth and time. As you step outside, the crisp breeze carries stories of voyages and valiant exploits, reminding you of how these mighty people sustained not only their weapons and ships, but also their garments, enabling their nomadic spirits to continue wandering. And, okay, maybe harboring a subtle appreciation for their hygiene efforts. The Vikings were all about practicality, like when you finally decide to sort through your emails and realize you feel just slightly more in control of your life afterward. The simplicity and efficiency of their methods speak volumes. Even their cleaning rituals were extensions of their resourceful lifestyles, allowing them to sail another day amongst the northern lights. Now, as you leave behind this community, the echoes of laughter and the rhythm of working hands fading into the evening chill, you might wonder what it was like to live in a world where cleaning clothes wasn't just a routine, but a chance to connect, to share stories, to pass down traditions. It makes the idea of tackling your own laundry pile seem almost a little magical. For now, let your heart settle gently, like the snowflakes swirling down on great wooden vessels docked along the shore. We'll wander further next time, into medieval towns where laundry day was an extreme sport unto itself. But right now, take another sip of your cooling tea, listen to the hum of nighttime around you, and let the whispers of ancient seas rock you gently towards sleep. You find yourself nestled in the hustle and bustle of a medieval town. Cobblestone streets wind through clusters of half-timbered houses, and above you, flags flutter cheerfully in the gentle breeze. The aroma of freshly baked bread wafts through the air, a smell so inviting that you're tempted to reach for an imaginary loaf. But before you can follow your nose, let's take a detour into the world of medieval laundry. As you wander these charming streets, you are drawn to the common sight of medieval laundresses, the unsung heroes of the cleanliness crusade. These women were tenacious, tending to clothes with as much vigor as a knight defending his realm. Their daily grind was an early form of endurance sport indeed, involving rivers, soap making, and more manual labor than a 3-hour home workout session. Let's paint this picture. You walk towards the riverbanks, where the air is fresh and slightly chilly. Here, medieval laundresses are hard at work. Only, they aren't sorting through emails. They're sorting through heaps of tunics, hose, chemises, and cloaks, determined to rid them of their stains and earthbound wear. Bent over the river stones, they scrubbed vigorously using homemade soap, which was a brew of animal fats and ash. And while it might sound more like a witch's potion, historians assure us it got the job done. The task was a communal affair, much like a group chat that never seems to end, where gossip was exchanged with the fervor of tales in a scandalous plot twist. Just imagine these women unloading the latest town square dramas, a soundtrack of playful banter and the sloshing of water as twigs crackle underfoot. Let's be honest, that's probably how medieval memes were born. One of the weirdest techniques involved using stale urine as a stain remover, rich in ammonia to tackle the fabric head-on. It's oddly reassuring, or perhaps worrisome, to see how much more creative they were compared to your current detergent aisle. Still, historians debate whether laundresses also added mystery ingredients to their soap-making brew. Could it be possible that local herbs were part of the mix, providing not only cleaning power, but also a dash of herbal essence? With no medieval chronicles dedicated solely to laundry tactics, we may never know the full truth. As you watch the medieval laundresses work, the rhythmic pattern of their scrubbing, and the ebb and flow of their conversations, a subtle realization dawns. This was as much a ritual as it was a necessity, a moment of community and resilience in a world where life was known for its trials and tribulations, a rare moment of unity among peers who shared not just chores, but life's little secrets. When the garments were thoroughly scrubbed, they'd be wrung out and flung over sun-touched hedges to dry, while the river reflected the joyful sun dance. This was the medieval aftermath, the moment when clothes shimmered under the open sky, fresh and renewed, like a knight's armor after a successful campaign. Absorb the atmosphere, the mingling scents of soap and evaporating river water, mixing with a hint of lavender from wild patches nearby. It's calming, isn't it? Almost enough to make you want to tackle that frustrating stack of laundry currently lounging in your room. So, as daylight slowly wanes and the streets grow still, you wander away from the riverbanks, leaving the camaraderie and nostalgia of medieval laundry behind. Next time, we'll step towards the sands of ancient Egypt, unraveling rituals of the pharaohs. But for now, let your mind yield to the quiet embrace of night as your own world gently rocks you to rest. You open your eyes to the warm sands of ancient Egypt, a land where grand pyramids rise against the horizon, and the Nile River meanders like a life-giving ribbon through the desert. The sun kisses the stone facades, casting long, lazy shadows. You step into this land of pharaohs and hieroglyphs, curious to explore how the people here handled their garments amidst monumental history and everyday life. As you walk toward the river, the very same that has witnessed dynasties rise and fall, you find yourself in the midst of bustling activity. Nearby, under the shade of a palm tree, a group of Egyptians sit by the Nile's edge. Their tunics gleam in the sun. After all, this is a culture that appreciates both form and cleanliness. In ancient Egypt, washing clothes was an affair as much dictated by utility as by tradition. The Egyptians used a diverse mix of limestone, natron, a naturally occurring mixture of sodium carbonate, and ash to cleanse their garments. It's like they invented DIY laundry detergent before it was cool. Picture this: wide basins filled with the concoction, scrubbed into linens with the aid of knobby hands and reed brushes. It's said that special laundry tables were sometimes used. Watching it is almost like an ancient version of one of those relaxing soap-making videos. Only here, the Nile is your background music. They didn't just settle for slapping soap and rinsing. Oh no, Egyptians were meticulous beings. They would repeat the process multiple times, ensuring that their linens were not just clean, but immaculate. You might find yourself chuckling at the thought that their dedication to laundry might outpace your commitment to sticking to your New Year's resolutions. As you soak in the scene, did you know that laundresses, often men, known intriguingly as washmen, were considered part of the lower occupation classes, even though their work was crucial? It's like the unseen internet hero who makes memes go viral, but never quite gets the credit they deserve. Historians still debate over whether the ancient Egyptians infused their detergents with the myriad scented oils and perfumes they adored. Did they take cleanliness to the next level, adding fragrant charm to their linens? The answer, quite literally, drifts away with the desert sands. Amid the rhythm of this ritual by the river, there's a peacefulness that echoes through the ages. It's a dance of liquid and fabric, of precise movements honed over generations. It's almost meditative watching the ancient Egyptians wash away the dust of daily life, fortified by the ever-present Nile. Imagine slipping into a freshly washed linen tunic after the day's chores, letting the breeze carry away last remnants of sunlight. Your senses are alive with the crispness of clean fabric against your skin, like pulling on those long-lost fuzzy socks you always hope are hiding in the dryer. As the sun sets over the temple silhouettes, casting mysteries deeper than any Netflix plot twist you've ever binged, it's time to wander on. Next, we'll be exploring the honorable robes of the samurai. But for now, settle into that gentle rustle of reeds by the riverbank and let the quiet of the evening sway you into dreams of history and mystery. You blink and find yourself amid the cherry blossoms of feudal Japan, their delicate petals swirling in the soft breeze, nature's own confetti. The landscape is serene, yet disciplined, much like the warriors who roam these lands. In a world of samurais and shoguns, one might think more about battles than laundry, but even these mighty warriors had to address the inevitable challenge of keeping their garments clean. Imagine walking through orderly rows of traditional wooden houses, each structure echoing the grace and precision of Japanese craftsmanship. You come upon a courtyard where clean clothing flutters like banners of peace in the spring air. It's here, amidst tatami mats and bamboo, that you discover the particular art of samurai laundry, an aspect as ritualistic and precise as the tea ceremonies that define elegance. Japanese attire, especially the kimonos and the ever-so-formal hakama worn by samurai, needed careful maintenance. Not only were these garments indicative of one's status, but in battle, they needed resilience as unyielding as the samurai spirit. Washing involved a delicate balance. Local rivers were preferred for their purity, and fabric was soaked, swished, and then rinsed with the kind of care you'd reserve for a family heirloom. No detergent was involved. Rather, rice bran was used, providing a gentle cleanse and adding a subtle polish to the fabric. Think of it as the ancient, eco-friendly solution, before eco-friendly was even a term. One of the peculiar practices here? The clothes were sometimes hammered on stones, a tender intervention compared to the daily rigor of martial training. The clattering sound must have been almost meditative, rivaling the soft jingle of armor. Can you picture it? A samurai sitting by a riverbank, sleeves rolled up, gently hammering the garments that would soon glide silently under moonlit shadows. A moment of quiet craftsmanship amidst the fierceness of their lives. Historians still argue over the details of the dyes and the exact make of these fabrics, perhaps sourced from distinguished geographies, carefully traded and cherished like a samurai's katana. Did the art of dyeing influence rank and respect? You never know. Historical fashion hierarchies can be as competitive as modern influencer rankings. Unlike the one-click Amazon convenience or the sudden decision to delete and reinstall apps, wondering about life choices, the laundry process was revered for its meditative simplicity. It was, after all, a necessary Zen action that aligned body and spirit. Some would even say a spiritual cleanse. In this ritual of washing, the community would gather. Stories would be shared by hushed voices, much like cozy weekend chats with friends that stretched late into the evening. What beautiful analogies might have passed between laundresses and warriors as water streamed over time-worn stones. The Japanese, ever mindful of nature's wisdom, understood the harmony between spirit and material, one clean robe at a time. From the calm waters to the swish of fabric in the air, laundry here was an extension of their life philosophy, merging care with simplicity. As the sun dips behind pine-covered hills, its final rays catch the lingering sakura petals, creating a scene so breathtaking it aches. You take one last deep breath of the fresh, crisp air, letting it soothe your modern-day worries. Beyond this horizon lies another culture, another story. Our next stop takes us to ancient China, where silk spun epic tales of luxury and innovation. But for now, embrace the quiet resolve of these lands and let your mind gently flow like the rivers that shape them. You open your eyes to an intricate tapestry of ancient China, where silk shimmered more luxuriously than any influencer's curated wardrobe. Around you, sprawling gardens with whispering bamboo and tranquil koi ponds. This isn't just any era. It's a world where silk was the very pulse of society, and maintaining its glory was an art form as revered as calligraphy or poetry. Walking through a silk market feels like stepping into another realm. Colorful rolls of fabric stretch as far as you can see, each one a testament to an empire's love affair with this divine fiber. In a society where silk was both currency and royal attire, the art of cleaning it required as much skill as weaving it. Here's the scenario. You stroll past a craftsman's quarter, peeking into dimly lit rooms where silk garments are being gently washed. The process feels like a dance, each movement deliberate and slow, as elegant as the silkworm's caterpillar crawl. The fabric is delicately submerged in water, an infusion of rice water, or rice bran often added to maintain the luster. These were the original conditioners, ensuring the silk gleamed like the moon's reflection on a still pond. Consider it. Silk garments nearly floated with care, and the precision with which they were handled could rival the thoroughness we reserve for curating the perfect social media post. Even if those drafts never see the light of day. Washing silk wasn't something rushed. No hasty spin cycles here, just an artful blend of patience and skill handed down through generations. There's something poetic about it, isn't there? How each thread of the garment tells its own story of cultivation and care, much like the quiet snippets in conversations that grow deeper as they weave through time spent together. Amidst this serenity, there remains a quirk. Did you know that early on, mulberry leaves, the very sustenance of silkworms, were also used in the washing processes for maintaining silk's texture? It's odd, but there's something beautifully circular about the silk cycle, incredibly sustainable before that was even a word etched into society's conscious effort. Though historians still debate the exact intricacies of silk cleaning practices, they agree on this. The Chinese developed a profound ritual of pulling silk threads, a process involving little wooden clamps. This method meticulously removed loose strands, leaving the fabric flawless, much as we leave homes only after ensuring our headphones are untangled. This ritual was not just about clean fabric, but maintaining honor and tradition, carefully meshing with the very fabric of society. Whether it was an imperial robe or a merchant's tunic, silk care was undertaken with almost reverential diligence. As your journey through this landscape deepens, you hear whispers, not of the past, but of a timeless connection through tradition. This was a society that looked at preservation of beauty and utility as one and the same, embedding these ideals into the silk itself. The sun begins its slow descent behind ornate rooftops, the colors of dusk playing off the once shimmering silk market. Your mind drifts gently, wondering what mystic tales these silken folds could tell if only they could speak. Next, our path leads us to the Indian subcontinent, where we'll unearth age-old cleaning secrets tucked away in local traditions. But for now, let your heart settle into the soft embrace of time, and let the ancient silken whispers guide you gently toward dreams. You find yourself in the vibrant tapestry of ancient India, where a kaleidoscope of colors and sounds unfurls around you. Picture bustling streets teeming with life, vendors energetically hawking their wares, sacred cows ambling lazily, and the air rich with the incense of spicy curries mingling with sweet, flowery fragrances. In this world, cleaning clothes wasn't just a task. It was an art form nurtured by nature's own offerings. Your journey takes you to the banks of the mighty Ganges, a river more than just water. It's a spiritual lifeline, a source of sustenance and renewal. Here, amidst the rhythmic splash of water and the soulful hum of chants, lies an age-old secret shared by the locals: soap nuts. Yes, those curious little pods you occasionally see popping up as eco-friendly detergent alternatives. They've been rooted in Indian traditions for centuries. The saponin-rich berries, when soaked in water, release natural soap, perfect for cleansing clothes without harsh chemicals. Imagine that, a gentle, biodegradable option existing long before sustainability took over your Instagram feed. As you walk along the riverbank, you notice dhobies, traditional Indian laundry workers, engaging in their daily routine. Their process is a fascinating choreography of dunking and thrashing fabrics against wash stones in time-honored patterns that seem part work, part dance, and all dedication. The sun warms your back as you watch them skillfully handle brightly colored saris and plain white dhotis, transforming them into clean, billowing canvases drying on splayed riverbanks. It's a scene both dynamic and serene, humans in harmony with the elements, letting the river do its cleansing magic. Despite the labor-intensive efforts, it's also a community gathering, exchanging pleasantries and blessings which carry through the rhythm of their craft. The Dhobis section of town embodies synergy and living tradition, much like those late-night study sessions you spent with friends, learning biology while secretly plotting life-changing adventures. And then there's a touch of mysticism in the air. Some legends suggest the Ganges waters have sacred purifying properties. Historians can't quite pin down the exact truth. But does it really matter when the myths serve as a gentle, reassuring hug from the universe? Intriguingly, these bastis, vibrant, bustling laundry neighborhoods, were the first to formalize washing into a commercialized service. In a way, they were the Uber of laundry before anyone thought logistics could be app-driven. As the sun dips lower, casting long shadows that seem to stretch the day's final moments, you begin to feel a connectedness to the cycle of wash and wear, the ebb and flow of life itself mirrored in the gentle tide of the river. The image of fabrics flapping in the breeze, colors swirling against the twilight sky, stays with you, a reminder of continuity in shared human experiences. Ahead, the French Renaissance beckons, with its theatrical fashion, faux pas, and hidden heritage of fabric care. But for now, nestle into the warmth of this moment. Let the river's lullaby guide you, slipping into dreams as ancient as these laundry traditions, as nuanced as the pattern of life itself unraveled by time. You're whisked away to the opulent courts of the French Renaissance, a world where art and fashion collided in dizzying splendor, like a Snapchat filter meeting an oil painting. As you stroll down cobblestone pathways flanked by sumptuous estates, every step echoes with the whispers of powdered wigs and starchy ruffs. It's here, amidst the flourish of velvet and lace, that you find yourself exploring how these flamboyant ensembles manage to stay dazzlingly clean. In this era of indulgence, clothing wasn't just for utility. It was an extension of one's identity, a statement of elegance as important as your morning coffee run. But beneath the layers of corsets and brocades lay the unspoken truth. Clothes got dirty, especially in an age where bathing was more of a suggestion than a daily need. You wander into the back corridors of a grand chateau, where laundry practices were as intricate as the lacework adorning a high-born lady's dress. Laundresses, often part of the household staff, battled stains with a fervor. Water, boiled over hearth flames until it bubbled like some medieval soup, was combined with soap flakes to create a cleansing concoction. This was painstaking work, mind you. Nothing like tossing clothes into an app-controlled washer and catching up on the latest series finale. Here's a quirky twist. During this time, fabric not only had to be clean, it had to keep its luxurious shine and vibrancy. They achieved this through bluing, an early form of optical brightening, using indigo dye diluted in water to bring out a fabric's whiteness. Imagine the original white filter, centuries before VSCO gave it a digital spin. Historians are still puzzling over how exactly divided labor was structured in these laundry rooms. Was there an unwritten hierarchy or a shared understanding among the diligent staff? It's one of those historical debates that invite a little imagination, and a lot of admiration. Nonetheless, some fabric-related mishaps sprang from overindulgence, dyes that ran or clashed astoundingly when not attended to with precision. It makes you chuckle, wondering whether any gaudy predecessors of modern fashion faux pas had their sartorial dramas behind these very doors. Where the drama unfurls in retellings, the joy of these days comes alive. The splashing of water amidst the rustle of silk, gentle laughter among laundry mistresses mixing with fragrant notes from nearby kitchens. It was life at its messiest and its most magical. Perhaps not so different from modern gatherings, where you're just as likely to spill excitement and a little wine. And oh, the starch. And I do mean excessive starch. You wouldn't believe how much they adored their crisply upstanding collars and flounces. It's reminiscent of those times we overly rely on dry shampoo bottles, turning undone into an art form. So, as the day draws to a close, and the dancers of the royal court emerge to relish a starry night, you leave this Renaissance glow, still enchanted by the majesty spun from spindle to lingerie. Our journey will soon lead us to the storied pathways of Native American traditions. But for now, linger in this moment. Feel the gentle rustling of period finery meshing with twilight breezes, leaving a legacy of elegance that sways amidst our dreams, urging us ever onward into the night. Breathe in the open air as you find yourself stepping onto the rich tapestry of Native American lands, where the vast prairies stretch under wide open skies, and the forest whispers ancient songs through rustling leaves. It's a place where nature's bounty and cultural tradition weave life together like threads in an intricate beadwork pattern. As you walk through this timeless landscape, let's uncover the elegant simplicity and ingenuity of clothing care deeply rooted in these diverse tribes. In a world where harmony with nature is a guiding principle, the methods of maintaining clothing are as thoughtful as the craftsmanship of a beautifully painted teepee. Native garments, crafted from natural materials such as animal hides or hand-woven fibers, reflect a deep understanding and respect for the environment. You might pass by a community gathering where traditional tasks transform into occasions of storytelling and celebration, not unlike when your friends come over under the guise of a study session that turns into a memory-making marathon. The key player here is not your regular detergent, but something far more organic. Plants and ash combinations, infused with natural oils to protect and cleanse the fibers. These offerings from the earth were as much loved then as your fuzzy slippers are now. Necessary, comforting, and oh so efficient in their own quiet way. The object was not only to clean, but to offer garments a kind of protection, preserving them against the elements. Imagine women gathered by a riverbank, their voices mingling with the gentle currents, hands deftly handling buckskin attire. This is a ritual of renewal. The clothing washed in water, then smoked over a low-burning fire to help secure suppleness and scent. A method resonantly alive, as timeless as the night sky arching over them. Think of it as the original natural fabric softener, making that warm hoodie feel extra cozy when you need it most. It's interesting, really. I'm talking that kind of whispered, "You've got to hear this," sort of interesting. That while these methods were cleansed by hand, they also carried spiritual and cultural significance. Colors and patterns were deeply symbolic, woven into storytelling narratives, speaking of lineage or nature, achievements and legends, each garment a living tapestry connecting people and place. Historians continue to explore these techniques, noting how geographic variations might have influenced specific methods, like the Plains tribes with their mobile sophistication, or the southwestern dwellers with their intricate dye practices. And yet, the debate simmers on, capturing imaginations with echoes from the past, making their presence felt in the now. As the dreamy afternoon light gives way to the golden glow of dusk, this sensory journey through cacophonies of life and earth has woven an understanding of how clothing and its care aren't just about fabric and dirt, but about stories and survival, a bridge between past and present. In your mind's eye, picture the swirl of colors as the people gather for a communal evening, laughter passing like the embers of the evening fire, a gentle reminder that community, no matter how diverse or distant, enhances the bright fabric of life. Our voyage will soon reach the starched frills of Elizabethan England, but until then, recline a little deeper into your thoughts. Let the wisdom and warmth of ancient traditions seep into dreams, carrying you softly, serenely, where the heart wishes to wander. You open your eyes, and it's as if you've stepped onto the stage of an Elizabethan drama, complete with swirling gowns, ruffled collars, and enough theatrical flair to make even the grandest Broadway production blush. Picture England in its Renaissance pomp and circumstance, where writing quills scratched fervently and fashion was as fantastically over the top as your favorite late-night reality TV marathon. As you meander through a bustling market square, richly dressed nobles pass you by, their clothing a testament to a time when appearance was everything. And here's the kicker. If you think keeping your clothes wrinkle-free and Instagram-ready is a task, Elizabethans had their own extreme version of this sartorial pursuit in the form of starch. Oh, the starching madness. It was a time when the desire for perfectly crisp ruffs and flaring cuffs knew no bounds. You'd find laundresses, adept in their craft, concocting pastes from wheat starch, a mix that they'd slather onto clothes before delicately ironing each piece to achieve the ultimate starched effect. Imagine them cranking out batches of these cloth accessories, like a baker kneading dough with all the enthusiasm of someone crafting grandma's secret cookie recipe. The fine gentlemen and graceful ladies took their starching techniques seriously, as a well-starched collar could make or break one's social standing. Instead of debating over what filter looks best, they were more enthralled by whose ruff would stand tallest, or whose dress sleeves could hold an angel's touch. Wry smiles aside, one can't help but admire their devotion to the art of exaggerated elegance. Now, here's the odd bit worth mentioning with a chuckle. Some received amusing complaints from neighboring kingdoms about this English obsession with starch. It was even said to give people a rather stiff-necked demeanor, something you might associate with critics who frown upon your ringtone choices, but in Renaissance form. Historians often debate whether the starch craze started out as merely a fashion statement, or if it took on deeper cultural significance, perhaps a nod to purity, status, and perfection against the colorful tapestry of Elizabethan court life. They may never agree, much like an ongoing debate about which streaming platform truly reigns supreme. Back to the stone wash basins behind those grand estates, where laundresses could be heard humming along with the birds, methodically dipping fabrics into crispness, one unique style choice after another. This laborious act ensured that every societal appearance was executed with the sophistication and rigidity of a grand dance. For few things could ruin an entrance quite like a droopy collar or sagging cuff. As twilight encroaches on this elaborate panorama, the sky dusted with hues of fading sapphire, you take a moment to appreciate that curious blend of utility and extravagance swirling across generations. What might seem outrageous today was, to them, a testament to poise and artistic discipline. In our next chapter, we'll wander into the vibrant world of the Aztec Empire, an explosion of color and energy. Until then, let thoughts of ruffled collars and velvet lords guide your reverie, nestled into the soft cradle of the evening, steered gently toward the harbor of dreams. Now, let yourself drift to a land of vibrant colors and rich traditions as you wander into the world of the Aztec Empire. Imagine standing atop a grand temple overlooking Tenochtitlan, where bustling marketplaces spread like vibrant carpets at your feet, and the soundtrack of life reverberates with the sounds of drums and voices. The Aztecs, with their colorful textiles and elaborate costumes, knew a thing or two about keeping clothes not only clean, but also ceremonially significant. Walking through the city's bustling heart, you become captivated by the intricate patterns woven into cotton garments. The Aztecs were master weavers and dyers, drawing from nature's own palette with dyes extracted from flowers, plants, and insects. Among these, the cochineal beetle stands out, a tiny creature used to produce a radiant red dye that would have given modern cherry lipsticks a run for their money. The Aztec approach to cleaning their garments was as efficient as it was eco-friendly. Imagine a textile-loving society that used the Amapoxley plant, a sort of natural soap, mixed with water to cleanse their clothes. Add in a bit of ash for scrubbing, and they had their very own impressive cleaning regime. No need for fluorescent laundry detergent boxes here. Just nature's ingenuity doing its thing. Here's where things get quirky. Sometimes mulch or clay was used on the toughest stains. Talk about returning to the earth, quite literally. The result would be garments that not only symbolized identity and rank, but were also purified to take on the wearer's essence and achievements. So, letting these vivid textiles soak under the open sky was akin to how we hope an open tab will figure itself out if left long enough. Historians still muse over various cloth crafting techniques and whether individuals adopted certain methods based on social status or merely geographical resources. It's akin to deciding between high-end artisan or affordable yet reliable options, an everlasting consideration regardless of era. Themes of ritual and renewal embedded in the Aztec textile care are visible in the community. One can picture a gathering along the riverbanks, where family and friends exchange stories, each adding depth to the layers of cultural consciousness carried in the weave. Their dedication to preserving fabric purity mirrored their spiritual pursuits. Fashion seen as another way to honor the gods. As night descends over the great empire and the cool air of evening settles in, your thoughts linger on these vibrant traditions that thrived with meaning and precision. From these lively markets to cosmic temples bathed in starlight, let the tales of woven artistry guide your way before our captivating journey leads onward to Persia's poetic tapestries. But for now, lean back as we honor the quiet in this transition, like settling under a warm quilt stitched with stories both past and present. Let your heart drift softly into dreams, woven with threads of timeless whimsy and wondrous journeys yet to unfold. You find yourself amidst the poetic elegance of ancient Persia, where elaborate gardens bloom within palatial courtyards, and the air is perfumed with roses and jasmine. The rhythm of life here is a melody of poetry and commerce, with the Silk Road unfurling tapestries of trade and culture. Persian society, known for its artistry and innovation, approached the care of clothing with the same meticulous finesse that graced their renowned carpets and textiles. Imagine stepping into a bustling Persian bazaar, its corridors filled with colorful fabrics, fluttering like prayer flags under the desert sun. Merchants haggle over exotic goods, and amidst the rhythmic chime of coin and chatter, you notice the garments, all imbued with the brilliant hues of natural dyes and decorated with intricate embroidery. Here, clothing was an art form, a language spun into thread and dye, reflecting both personal and cultural identity. The Persian method of cleaning their clothing embraced nature's bounty with a touch of ingenuity. Water drawn from the Qanat, a marvelously ancient underground irrigation system, ensured the process began with the purest element. For soap, they concocted a mixture using ash and the crushed seeds of various plants, sometimes even employing a touch of clay to soften fabric. It's like finding the perfect skincare regime for your clothes, long before natural labeled everything from your daily moisturizer to shampoo. Now, here's a little-known tidbit. In addition to cleaning, certain garments were scented with aromatic herbs and oils like lavender and rosewater. This wasn't just for olfactory pleasure. It was also a mark of status and sophistication that can rival today's designer perfumes. Think of it as the ancient way to roll out that metaphoric red carpet before stepping out into the world. Historians still muse over the varying influences on Persian textile care, with debates echoing through academic halls about the amalgamation of techniques brought in via the trade routes. Was it the cross-cultural exchanges that truly elevated these traditions? Or did indigenous ingenuity hold its own over millennia? Either way, the discourse remains as vibrant as the embroidered threads they seek to illuminate. Back in those sprawling gardens, where poets like Rumi and Hafez could often be found musing over the ethereal beauty of existence, the simplicity of clean, fresh clothes drying under the sun was celebrated, woven intricately into the rhythm of daily life. Clothes were a canvas, and how they were maintained reflected a balance achieved only through harmonizing practical wisdom with the pursuit of beauty. As you witness the colors of sunset blending into the vast desert sky, the simplicity and richness of Persian culture seem to linger like an eloquent verse. Our journey will soon unveil tales from the age of exploration. But for now, nestle into the warmth of these starlit paths. Let the soul of Persia, with its poetic grace and mystic allure, whisper softly to you as dreams unfold, painting visions of far-off lands and gentle reveries yet to come. You find yourself aboard a ship, swaying gently under the vast canvas of the age of exploration. The salty sea breeze fills your lungs as you stand beneath billowing sails, feeling the thrill of open horizons that stretch endlessly before you. These were times of daring voyages and charted waters, when adventurers set out to map new worlds and bring back treasures of far-off lands. But amidst these grand journeys lie the more mundane yet crucial tasks, like doing laundry. Life at sea was demanding, and sailors didn't exactly have the luxury of modern conveniences. Imagine stepping below deck to where clothing, stiff from salt and sweat, needed attention. Without flowing rivers or spacious basins, sailors resorted to an ingenious method, scrubbing clothes with seawater, a rough mix of sand and soap. The ocean was both ally and adversary, its brine both a cleanser and a harsh taskmaster. Picture sailors lining the decks on rare calm days, scrubbing scrubbing and pounding garments with as much tenacity as navigating the perilous capes. It's a scene as salty as that one friend who insists that pineapple on pizza is an abomination. Yet here, it played out amidst rolling waves and creaking masts. In their spare time, or as much of it as any seafarer had, crews would tie shirts to ropes, trailing them in the ocean as the ship glided onward, creating a makeshift washing machine. One can almost imagine the shirts playing in the wake, much like a child frolicking in the surf, each undulating wave bringing a fresh rinse. This approach worked wonders in eroding both grime and tedium of those long voyages. A quirky little anecdote often shared is about sailors using vinegar to remove the salt crust, a practice that might sound bizarrely satisfying to modern DIY cleaning enthusiasts. It's like finding that random life hack on social media that you didn't know you needed until it unexpectedly saved your weekend plans. But historians continue to debate the effectiveness of such rudimentary practices. How often did crew members truly manage to feel the warmth of drier, cleaner clothing under their brisk uniforms? The recipes and insights into these nautical nuances invite endless curiosity, much like the enduring fascination with tales of Earth's oceans still unsailed. In the grand scheme of maritime history, these washing rituals, though seemingly unremarkable, were crucial for the morale and health of a ship's crew. Clean clothes were as vital as fresh water and dried meats. They were a slice of normalcy, reminders of a world left behind, yet still ever present in fabric threads brushed by familiar hands. As day fades into a sea of stars, leaving you to contemplations on the deck of this mighty vessel, the lull of waves beneath your feet echoes tales old and new. Let your thoughts soar, with seagulls trailing softly after the sinking sun, ready to dream as the night carries you onward into industrial currents. Next, we'll take a dive into the mechanical marvels of the Industrial Revolution. But for now, swaddle yourself in the quietude of the open sea and let your dreams drift with the tide. You find yourself transported to the whirring world of the Industrial Revolution, a universe of steam, steel, and ceaseless innovation. The air hums with the energy of invention, where factories chug away like life-size high-tech gadgets, each part working tirelessly to weave the tapestry of modernity. It's here, amidst soot-streaked cityscapes and bustling streets, that laundry took a leap from backbreaking to groundbreaking. In this era of progress, the task of cleaning clothes began its transformation from laborious chore to mechanical miracle. Imagine stepping into a laundry mill, the smell of freshly pressed linen mingling with the faint scent of coal and oil, steam swirling like the smoky breath of a dragon. Machines, those newfangled wonders, clacked and whirred, revolutionizing the process with every mechanical heartbeat. Initially, washing clothes was still a messy endeavor, one that required water, boiled with the vigor of a tick-tock kettle challenge, and soap compounded from animal fats. Yet these new machines, some clunky, others remarkably elegant, began to address that age-old dilemma: how to clean clothes efficiently without an army of scrubbards and sore muscles. You might chuckle at the quirky inventions conjured during this time. Consider the hand-cranked washing drum, a precursor to your spin cycle, and the coal-fired laundry stoves, which, while terrifying, brought unprecedented heat to the process. These devices paved the way for the first washing machines, combining human ingenuity with the incessant energy of the industrial age. Historians often debate who should be crowned the real inventor of the washing machine. Was it the brainchild of a determined domestic engineer, or an inspired entrepreneur eyeing a lucrative gap in the market? Opinions tumble around like loose items in your favorite gym bag, forever open to interpretation. And here's a quirky side note for you. Laundry services, offered at laundry businesses powered by these mechanical marvels, became the toast of the town. There was even a rise in steam laundries that offered efficiency and a flair of modern lifestyle. It's akin to those elusive juice shops that promise a detox juice with flair and fizz, yet somehow much more effective. The shift was a societal sea change, much like when your favorite streaming platform rolls out a new feature, turning what once felt cumbersome into something sleek, efficient, and almost enjoyable. With newfound ease, folks could focus on other growing modern pursuits, possibly creating the work-life balance conundrum we still ponder today. As evening descends upon this mechanically symphonic landscape, a hush settles over the city, the smoky clouds parting just enough to reveal starlit sequins against the dark. You contemplate the countless lives reshaped by this revolution, the quiet heroics of washers that churn tirelessly so humans could step into cleaner, more practical tomorrows. Next, we'll journey toward the final whispers of our historical dreamscape, tying together all the threads we've spun. But for now, as the lights glitter over thriving industrial towns, relax into the hum of quiet progress. Let your thoughts drift into the realm of gentle invention, where dreams mingle with the foggy echoes of engines fading into the night.